Good morning. I'm Bill Zortman, and welcome to the Report Card Show. Shows 36, 87 in our original It's Your Business series. Each month, on either the first or the second Monday of the month, we bring together the president of the Home Builders Association, president of the Real Estate Association, a mortgage banker. Today, we bring women in construction, and we have a keynoter, a special guest as well, Tony Bachman. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Bill. TGIM. Thank God it's Monday, as always.
So, we are 100 plus 1 day into 2022.
Wow, isn't that amazing?
You've got some numbers that go far beyond the numbers that I put together and the other players on this team put together. Yep. You want to share?
Sure. Well, obviously this is the monthly indicator report, and how did March turn out? And so we just have a few stats related to that. And I think, what we're going to notice is we're probably seeing a kind of a similar trend that's been happening over the last few months. But to address that, I would just say that right now we're seeing new listings. New listings were down basically about 22%. Pending sales, conversely, pending sales were up 39%.
How can you do that?
Yeah, it's like one of those things that they're. I think what you have is you have a number of homes that have been waiting to close. We were just talking to Anne. So Anne Farrell's with us here this morning, and we were just talking this morning. She said it took her 1 year to finish one of her. So her listing was pending for about a year.
Well, it's been pending. Yeah, it's been under construction for a year, and we're finally wrapped it up.
Yeah. So how can you do that? We're seeing a lot of people that are buying new construction homes, and new construction homes, a lot of times they're not completely done. They're just in the foundation phase or they're in the framing phase. And so in the meantime, people make offers, and it may take anywhere from 3 months to 12 months in Anne's.
12 months.
In Anne's case. So therein lies a little bit of that, when you're talking about.
The other thing we're seeing, too, is the number of small communities that are now finding lots, 30 or 40 at a crack, whether it be Baltic, which seems to be one of the head of the list from what we've heard in the last couple of weeks, Colton.
Yep.
We're seeing that. And I know you guys do a bunch down around Harrisburg.
Yep, we do.
So does that mean that it's maybe easier to go outside the city limits to find space, to find a way that you can build a house and maybe have somebody buy it?
Yeah, I think when you're talking about something like that, the prices have increased to the point where it makes sense for some of these smaller communities to scratch out a development, because there's a certain amount of inherent costs that come with that when you're talking about infrastructure and that sort of thing. So, in the past, those communities, they just couldn't justify some of those infrastructure costs. Mm-hmm. Well, now with land prices going and doing what they have, now they can make sense of that. And then the other part is that they're also looking at the benefits of having extra additional tax base. So this is a boon for some of these, smaller communities. And like in Hartford, where you live, you've seen that, and it's been growing. And it's going to continue to grow. I was driving down the interstate the other day, and I saw them out there doing streets and right along the interstate. So they're trying to develop that as quick as they can out there too.
And it all is good news for Sioux Falls business, because they need employees.
Absolutely.
If there are places for them to live, guess what? They can move here.
Yep. And I think you're seeing more cooperation between our community leaders and the small town leaders. They're all understanding we all have to be in this together. It's not one community against another. Right. It is all of us are in this together. How do we help?
Yep. Yeah. And we've seen just the with the rise in prices, of course, it's kind of an inverse. It's kind of a double-edged sword. People that own homes are excited about the rising prices. The people that are buyers are feeling a little bit of pressure. But in the same token, with interest rates, we kind of have this interesting relationship with the rise of interest rates. You would think with the rise of interest rates, you would see maybe a pullback in demand. It actually is just the opposite. We've seen this spike, this big push right now toward home buyers, especially because they want to try and capitalize on the interest rates that are current as opposed to what they might be, type of thing. So we're also seeing that out there in the marketplace right now when it comes to people out there making offers, multiple offers. And there's certain price points that, especially like the closer to that first-time home buyer, are seeing a lot of pressure with that.
Well, I think you're also seeing a whole lot of people whose rent is going up. And as their rent is increasing, they're realizing, wait a minute, maybe I really do want to jump into this game and start looking at buying a home.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the whole, not only just home ownership, but also rental, all those rates, everything has increased, with that. But, I think that one of the things that we kind of touched base on last time when I was here last week, we were talking about the conversation is, are we in a price bubble? Or are we going to see the market collapse? And because I think it's a fair conversation to engage in, and it's a conversation that we have with a lot of our clients. And I would say here's a couple of reasons why that would not be. I mean, back when 2007 to 2012, we had roughly about 35% of the homes in the United States were what they call distressed homes, meaning that the market value was less than what they had for loan value. In today's market, it's less than 1%. So there's no distressed homes out there. So we don't have to worry about that, people going upside down. The other aspect of this is that, we're, like we said, is inventory levels. Back then in 2008, we'll say in February, there was like 9.2 months of inventory. This year, we're at in March, we were 1.6 months of inventory. So we're not going to see a pullback in prices. I think they're calculating approximately anywhere from a 5 to 9% potential appreciation of homes. Yep. So again, why is that big push? People want to capitalize on that where they can still buy at the rates that are currently, out there right now, and then also potentially cash in on the appreciation of those homes by the end of the year.
The other thing that we hear is that we have people all over the country wanting to move here. Are you finding that as far as people that you're helping right now?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a lot of inquiries. We have people that are looking at moving this area, and like we said last week, for sometimes it's just because they want the standard of living. Others, it's for economic and for labor. I mean, and we still have a great standard of living, and this is a wonderful community. And, when we have people that come from other areas, some of those areas are like, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe how nice this is and what a great community and how polite and pleasant people are. So, for them, it's very refreshing.
So, as Mr. Keynoter this morning, your keynote message to the audience would be, if you had to put it in 60 words or less?
I think that interest rates definitely are playing a little bit of factor in the market. We are looking at probably a little bit of a leveling. When I say leveling, maybe just not the demand in homes, maybe just back off just a little bit over time. But we're not going to see a reduction in prices. And I think that this is still going to be a strong market throughout the year. We just hope that the builders and developers can keep up and build as much as they can to help kind of absorb some of this demand.
And the figures that people will see if they go online to the podcast with the blog would include this morning? Something that we didn't mention?
Yeah, it's going to include inventory levels. It's going to include, the month's supply. It'll include, basically we'll have everything about new listings and sales and pendings and that sort of thing. Median price point is probably the one thing that we've seen. Median price point increased 10.4% from last year. Right now, median price point is a little over $265,000.
Amazing.
Yeah. So for first-time home buyers, they're doing everything they can to have it make sense, and I know the lenders are doing everything they can to help these people, so that way they can make an educated decision.
Well, we consider ourselves keynoted this morning. You've taken good care of us. John Beach is standing by representing the home builders. They've got a parade of homes that they want to share a little bit on this morning, but we'll keep Annie, as I call her, or Anne, around, and we'll see where we go from here.
All right. Thank you, Bill.